How you doing? It's me, Dr. Christian Lassen. I wanted to talk about something I've seen trending lately. It's called biomimetic dentistry. Now, what is biomimetic dentistry? The name means imitating life or trying to be lifelike or natural. All dentistry is always attempting to be lifelike and natural. We're limited by the materials that we have at our disposal. Some biomimetic dentists like to claim that they hand stack resins or composites. That's our white filling material. All white filling material is always layered. If we try to put too much white filling material in at once, it shrinks too much as it cures. So to overcome that, we put it in layers so the shrinkage is minimal. We have a better seal from filling to tooth. So all dentists do that, or at least they're supposed to be doing. The other thing that we see is that biomimetic dentists will try to do onlays instead of full coverage crowns, claiming that it saves tooth structure. And yes, it does save tooth structure, but you make some compromises in other ways in that an onlay just is not as strong as a crown, and sometimes, and you have twice as much seal or margin or seam from onlay to crown that you have to try to keep safe and make sure is bonded well and sealed tight. A crown, you have a single rim, so if you have a cap that goes over a tooth, you have a single rim that goes around the tooth that you have to keep clean and make sure it's sealed. It's a little easier to maintain. If you have an onlay, a lot of onlays are done where they cover half the tooth, or maybe the full thing, but then that margin or seal is trying to wrap around and go around grooves and in and out of cusps of teeth. And so you have twice as much margin or seal that you have to make sure it keeps clean. That's twice as much room for failure for bacteria and germs to leak in somewhere. So personally, I don't do a lot of onlays. I found that even when they're made by the best labs ever, or made by same-day crown machines, those mills you see in offices, it just tends to chip and fray a little bit around the edges, and then you're relying on our cement or our white filling material to fill in those gaps. And it's just not as good of a seal, in my opinion. Maybe the science will prove me wrong, and if it does, and when it does, I'll be happy to switch. But I don't like to do onlays because, like I said, a lot of times dentists will only cover half the top of the tooth. The other half is still vulnerable to breaking off or fracturing, and that defeats the whole purpose of an onlay or a crown. A full coverage crown with modern porcelains can be very, very strong. We don't have to take off a whole lot of tooth to do it, and there's minimal place for failure. So I try to keep all my teeth as lifelike and natural as possible. I hand stack my layers. I try to make sure the bite is comfortable and even so that when you're walking out the door, you don't even know that I worked on you, except for maybe you're a little numb and you're a little lightheaded from sitting in the chair too long. So biomimetic dentistry is kind of a misnomer because just about all dentists are trying to make their teeth as lifelike and biomimetic as possible. There might be some reasons why biomimetic dentists try to call themselves that and form a niche market and try to cater to a certain crowd of people by doing so. I get that, I understand that. But almost all dentists are biomimetic dentists. It's not a recognized specialty. It's not something that really makes one dentist better than another. I hope that helps, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.